Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to my show. I'm your host, Diana Bellaros, award-winning and best-selling author, Fire and Ice, The Journey of Transformation, The Light Within. You can find out more about me on my website, dianabellaros.com, as well as download a free gift and subscribe so you don't miss any of the podcasts I'm doing. So this month is October, Domestic Violence Awareness Month, since I have been working on this for the past 12 years. I'm trying to bring victims of domestic violence to share their stories and save a life, because not every story is the same. And from what I stumble upon, and every story matters, and speaking and sharing your story makes a difference. So I definitely suggest that. And today I'm going to share some tips. Basically, the radio show is going to be like a little webinar. So you'll be able to learn exactly what a victim of domestic violence needs from other women who are in my groups. And tomorrow I definitely invite you with my ambassador from New Zealand. We are doing this webinar since last week, every Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific time. Actually 8 p.m. Pacific time, 4 p.m. New Zealand, and sharing our experience with domestic violence, as well as giving you tips and answering questions. And the help is free for the victims of domestic violence. So I got some information online again, which I feel is going to be very helpful and is going to make a difference, because most of the time the victims of domestic violence, they don't feel like researching the web and trying to find information that is going to work for them. And I know exactly how it feels. It's really difficult to put yourself together and to cope with everything what is going on around you. And if you're a victim of domestic violence, this is a really good podcast for you. So my question in my group, which I would love for you to join, is National Coalition Against Domestic Violence. And the question is, what kind of information a victim of domestic violence needs? And here is some feedback from other women, victims of domestic violence, who are not in this toxic environment any longer, and they give some tips based on their experience. And this is Crystal Late. She says, another post I have written, and I think it applies here. You left your abuser, now what? After leaving your abuser, there are many things that need to happen in order for you to heal. Here is a list to help you on your way. I wish these were things someone had told me instead of figure them all out myself. So that's why I'm doing this show, and I hope this is going to help you, because nobody wants to end up in a situation where they don't have any answers to the questions they're having, and they don't know where to begin. So usually my philosophy is that the best teachers come from life and from the experience of the same thing you're going through. So don't feel like you're alone. So anyway, go somewhere safe, somewhere preferably where he won't find you. A friend he doesn't know, family, a shelter, even leave the province or town if you have to. Number 2, change your phone number and all of your passwords. Cancel any service you had in your name, up security on your Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, etc. Block him and people that know him. Even better, stop using social media for a while and just hide. Make sure you go absolutely no contact. She actually highlighted this and wrote it with capital letters, because this is really important. Otherwise, you'll keep sleeping and you're going to keep doubting yourself, and you will want to go back. So I definitely don't recommend that, and I recommend this really important. Make sure absolutely no contact. This is important as most victims in an abusive relationship are killed after they leave. This also ensures the abuser doesn't try to suck you back into the relationship. Go to the police, file a report. You don't need to change them if you are too scared. You just need to have something on file in case something happens to you in the future. Seek out places for counseling, phone victim service to help. A lot of places have non-profit organizations to help as well. Number 6, just because you left doesn't mean things get easy. Your body starts to come out of fight or flight. The trauma that happened to you sets in. It's a long, hard road from here, trying to heal yourself, but you have been through worse. Get out of the victim headspace and start thinking like a survivor. Number 7, make your health and well-being your top priority. Do everything you can to be healed emotionally, mentally, physically. It may take a while, but it will be worth it at the end. Just remember, everyone heals at their own pace. Focus on your do things. Slowly for yourself, it's all about self-care. Number 8, focus on you. Do things slowly for yourself. It is all about self-care. Knowledge is a power. Learn as much as you can about what happened to you. It helps to put things into perspective. And once you learn it, you can't unlearn it. Ignorance is not bliss, education is. Take back your story. When you're ready, tell people what happened, as little as much as you want. Being able to tell your story in your own words is very powerful. Empowering yourself is an extremely important way to healing what happened. So I hope this is going to help you, and I'm going to read another comment based on what the victims of domestic violence should know after they leave a toxic relationship. This is the most important question. I would like to, this is from Sadhna Sharma. She's from India, and I would love to get feedback from women internationally, since this is a global issue and we need the feedback from everywhere. So here it is what she says. Number 1, most of them are totally confused and want someone to give the patient hearing out their problems. Next, they think about a shelter where she can breathe freely and get some food. A lawyer who would work for her for free. Fight a legal battle to get a restraining order or a no contact order. Then for her right to get custody of children and her own maintenance rights. So these are the things from people who had been in domestic violence and they got out and they're happy, they're free, they have built life for themselves, and they just want to help. Here is another one, Suzanne Campbell. She says, place to escape, to safe refugee where she can get food. What laws protect her children and herself, psychologists for trauma counseling, how to get government help, and how to get child support. I also was able to get an article from CNN that it says some cities are adjunct in domestic violence, and I definitely love to read them because this is the main reason I have been working for the past 12 years on domestic violence, and I see a lot of big media places are posting these articles. So it definitely shows how serious is this crime against women. And again, tomorrow I invite you, which is Sunday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, and it's Eastern, I believe, is about 11 p.m. and 4 p.m. New Zealand time, to meet my co-host and learn about her success building business from scratch. As more and more Americans are forced to stay home during the escalating coronavirus pandemic, the crisis has created a pressure-cooked situation for domestic violence victims, exhibiting stressors and isolation that can make to a deadly mix. Several cities are already reporting jumps in domestic violence cases or calls to local hotlines. Some shelters around the country say therefore reducing their capacity to maintain social distancing and struggling to help survivors. And with a gun sales getting records, advocates worry that the next few weeks could be especially dangerous. In eastern Pennsylvania town under a local shelter-in-place order, a man who lost his job to the pandemic shot his girlfriend in the back and then killed himself on Monday. Just before he went into the basement to get his gun, he became extremely upset about coronavirus. The victim survived, told the police. Domestic violence is rooted in power and control, and all of us are feeling a loss of power and control right now, said Kathy Ray Jones, the CEO of the National Domestic Violence Hotline. We are really bracing for a spike post-COVID-19. That is when law enforcement and advocates and courts are going to hear the really, really scary stuff going on behind closed doors. While police and advocates haven't seen jumps in domestic violence cases across the board, some hotspots are emerging around the country. Over the 20 large metropolitan police departments that provided data to CNN, 9 saw double-digit percentage jumps in domestic violence cases or 911 calls in March, either compared to the previous year or the earlier months in 2020. Not every department provided standardized numbers. Some counted domestic violence-related 911 calls, while others told confirmed cases of arrests. Portland, Oregon had 27% increase in domestic violence arrests between March 12 and 23, 2020, as compared with the same period in 2019. Police said Boston had 22% jump in domestic assault and battery reports between March 2019 and March 2020, and Seattle had a 21% increase in reports of domestic violence during the same time period. But advocates worry that with victims stuck in close proximity with abuser, there are many others who are unable to safely reach out for help. I imagine that is the tip of the iceberg, said Anna the Princeton University of Denver psychology professor who studied domestic violence. How stay-at-home orders impact victims. With more than 96% of Americans living under stay-at-home orders, some cities are seeing significant jumps in domestic violence reports. Police in Pittsburgh, Charlotte, Oklahoma City, San Antonio, and Omaha experienced a double-digit percent increase in domestic violence-related calls. Comparing March or part of March 2019 or earlier months in 2020, according to data provided by the departments to CNN, Kansas City reports the similar jump in domestic violence incident reports. Other cities like St. Louis and Denver registered barely any change in domestic violence calls, while San Diego and Las Vegas saw small declines in calls. New York City, the epicenter of the pandemic, saw a 50% drop in domestic violence complaints from March 2020 to 2020, although an aide to New York government, Andrew Cuomo, said Friday that the state police had received reports about spikes in cases elsewhere in the state. So we are out of time. We can continue this, and I could definitely suggest you to reach to me if you have any questions and if you have any concerns. The help is free, and I have the National Domestic Violence Hotline numbers under this podcast. The podcast is available to download for free. Do whatever you want. If you want to do a YouTube video, you can do with the podcast, because all the information which I was able to gather makes a difference, and I know very well what I'm talking about. You can find out about my story or why I'm doing what I'm doing on my website, dianabellaros.com. Please subscribe, get a free gift. Comment, let me know what you think about what I do, what exactly you want me to cover. So thank you so much. for everybody who was with me this afternoon. I wish you an amazing weekend. Be safe. And if there is any problem, the phone numbers for National Domestic Violence are 1-800-799-7233 and 1-800-787-3224. Thank you so much, and I'm available if you are having some kind of a trouble with domestic violence and you don't know where to go. I'll be here to help you and support you. Be love, be light. Let's transform this world with the love we carry inside and use it as a weapon.